Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we actually have some more news about War Thunder Edge, the mobile game which is going to be coming out for War Thunder. Now this is actually finally announced. Obviously before what we saw is some trailers and also some sneak peeks at some of the gameplay of it when it was in its beta. But now, when it comes to the actual War Thunder Edge, it is now entering closed beta testing in the next couple of months. Basically what this is a spin-off of War Thunder, so I don't think it's interconnected with War Thunder, but it is kind of a mobile version of what you would see War Thunder as, and it also seems to be having some unique stuff in it. It's not just a carbon copy of War Thunder, it's also going to have some extra stuff, which is pretty cool. So there's also some quotes from Anton Yudintsev, obviously the CEO of Gaijin. He says, "Players have been asking us to bring War Thunder to mobile for many years." And that is very true, but also the reason is because Gaijin announced that they were doing a mobile version of War Thunder in 2013, I believe it is. So it's been a long time coming, that one. At the same time, he also says we had to make sure first that powerful enough hardware is widely available to players and that the mobile gaming audience is ready for hardcore games like War Thunder. Now we think the time is right, and I think that's fair. I think it's more mainly about the first point there instead of the second point, as we've seen many times that even though mobile does definitely favor, let's say, more casual games, there is a core audience on mobile that does enjoy these games, whether it's the FPSs or whether it's other stuff like World of Tanks with their mobile version. So War Thunder Edge is coming in. It is actually developed by a new internal team at Gaijin Entertainment, overseen by the developers of War Thunder. So it isn't the specific developers of War Thunder working on it. Instead, they are giving guidance to the team which is building it, which is completely fine. And the game actually uses the Daegor engine, which is the same one which pretty much all of the other Gaijin games are built off of, e.g. War Thunder, Enlisted, and some of their other products. Because if you didn't know, Gaijin is actually a pretty big publisher. They're not just a War Thunder War Thunder setup. They also have stuff like Crossout. They have stuff like Star Conflict and also Crusade Fawad, which still sits, in my opinion, as the worst name when it comes to anything I've ever heard. It actually stands for Cuisine Royale 2nd Edition, Fulfillment of All Desires, I'm pretty sure, or something similar to that, which is a terrible name, but we'll move on from that. When it comes to Edge itself, it is going to be using certain technologies, which they've partnered with certain companies to go for. It says that War Thunder Edge will support Qualcomm Technologies' newly announced real-time hardware-accelerated ray tracing on Snapdragon-powered mobile devices from day one of the closed beta, and they'll work closely with Qualcomm to enable this industry-leading Snapdragon technology that will enhance overall visual quality and immersion by adding ray-trace smooth shadows and realistic penumbras, translucency, self-shadowing, and also other effects. Now, if you remember a few years ago, when it came to good old Gaijin, they actually did set up with a Chinese company which favored mobile games, and they actually partnered with them, who developed stuff like Cuisine Royale, not Cuisine Royale, but Crossout Mobile and stuff like that. And I'm wondering if that partnership is continuing with products like this. But Qualcomm, of course, is an American company, so they're obviously working with them as well, Mr. Worldwide, as you may put it. Now, when it comes to the Snapdragon technology, which is a terrible name for something, but c'est la vie, it's basically a suite of a system on a chip, semiconductor products for mobile devices designed and marketed by Qualcomm Technologies. Now, the system on a chip setup, that is an integrated circuit that integrates most or all components of a computer or other electronic system. So these components always include a CPU, memory interfaces, on-chip input-output devices, interfaces, and also the GPU. So basically, it's something that runs everything when it comes to the mobile device. So it's your one-stop shop for everything going on instead of having individual parts that are around the place. So we'll have to see how this affects the actual game itself. Another thing to also mention about War Thunder Edge is it is going to have, of course, its distinctive gameplay similar to other stuff, so similar to War Thunder, but not exactly the same. It's going to have a bunch of Second World War stuff in it, ranging from the Tiger to the IL-2 Sturmovik, and also some extra goodies that you actually don't find in the specific War Thunder itself. The Yamato battleship is going to be in the War Thunder mobile version. When it starts, it's going to have vehicles from US, Germany, Japan, UK, and also USSR, all from the Second World War. But in the future, they will add more modern military hardware, just like they did in War Thunder when it started. The game's going to have light tanks, it's going to have heavy tanks, it's going to have self-propelled guns, it's going to have air defense systems, fighter, bombers, destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and they're even looking to develop submarines and also aircraft carriers for this game. So they are just chucking everything into this, and they're just throwing all the gizmos. So if you are one of those people who wants to see specific things when it comes to War Thunder, this is obviously the time, because you can see it in another place. You can give it a go. The only question is, do you actually have a mobile device powerful enough to run this? I don't, so we're going to have to see if this comes to PC and if we can give it a go. That would be a little bit rude, though. I've always found it a little bit sad beating up on mobile players on PCs, because obviously there is an inherent advantage to PC players compared to mobile players. We'll have to see if this thing becomes cross-platform. I highly doubt it's going to, just because of those issues, but maybe there might be an option to turn it off for people. Maybe they're going to do some stuff like that. So this game is obviously already starting off on a pretty advanced foot compared to War Thunder, which started off on a foot 10 years ago now. So 10 years on, instead of just War Thunder improving pretty much every year with new graphics and new features and new vehicles and all of this different stuff, we now have a mobile game which should go on the same trajectory. Now, there is obviously some questions to be answered, of course. You have a new team working on it, so that's always going to be a little bit rough, especially if they're not as familiar with the product, but at least from the testing and stuff, it looks good. How are people going to get access to the testing? That's also another thing that's going to be going around. Also, how effective is the game going to be when it comes to its actual FPS and its running? Is it going to melt your phone? That's obviously a very important thing at the end of the day. So hopefully all of those things go well. And as always, that's what a CBT is for testing these things as usual. So there you go. The trailer is out. The information is out. It's time to bring War Thunder to mobile. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Forge, Siegebreak, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, and also Sem Arslan, Wilkski, Uncle Bean, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.